based elections. President Granger meets with U.S. congressional team, assures free and fair elections. State-of-the-art Diamond Golden Grove Court opens, and Guyana moves up significantly on Corruption Perception Index. Stay with us as we take you through major stories covered from January 18 to 24, 2020. We have 29 days to go as we prepare for the Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary. Thank you for joining us. His Excellency David Granger on Wednesday met with members of the United States Congress at the Ministry of the Presidency, where he assured the theme that general and regional elections slated for March 2, 2020 will be free, fair, and credible.
The visiting delegation comprised Congressman Albio Sires, Chairman of the Western Hemisphere, Civilian Security and Trade Subcommittee Gregory Meeks, and Congresswoman Yvette Clark. The congressmen and congresswoman were accompanied by U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Her Excellency Sarah Ann Lynch. President Granger was accompanied by Prime Minister the Honorable Moses Nagamutu, Minister of Foreign Affairs the Honorable Dr. Karen Cummings, Minister of State the Honorable Dawn Hastings Williams, and Social Protection Minister the Honorable Amna Ali. The head of state gave a brief comment following the meeting.
I was able to assure the U.S. congressional team that all the preparations which need to be made are being made by the Election Commission in accordance with the law, and that the executive branch of government has been compliant with the Constitution, and that we are working towards ensuring that the elections are indeed free and fair, and we will continue to cooperate with the Elections Commission to do so.
The delegation also met with the Guyana Elections Commission Chair Justice Claudette Singh, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic, as well as international organizations, civil society groups, and the private sector. Also on Wednesday, President Granger officially opened the state-of-the-art Diamond Golden Grove Magistrates Court on the east bank of the Demerara.
Formally commissioning the $143 million facility, President David Granger said the coalition government is pursuing a policy of regional development. Easier access to justice, he explained, is part of this effort.
We now have courts in every region, in Burima-Waini, at Aquero, Mabaruma, Matthews Ridge, at Pomloon, Supernam, Anna Regina, Charity and Suddy, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, Leguan, Leonora, Breeden Hoop, Wackenham and Wales. Demerara, Mahaika at Cove and John, Georgetown, Mahaika, Providence, Parandam, Vigilance, and now here at Diamond Grove. Mahaika Borbis at Blairmont, Fort Wellington, Myconi and Weldad, East Pobis Quarantine at Albion, Mibikuri, New Amsterdam. Number 51 Village, Reliance, Sisters, Springlands, and Wim. In the Kuyuni Mazaruni at Bartik and Camarang. Patara Siparuni at Madia. Rupununi at Aishalton, Anai, Karasabay, and Lethem, and in the Upper Demerara Babis region, Kokwani and Linden. So the entire country will be covered in due course.
The court is expected to serve some 70,000 East Bank Demerara residents.
According to the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Basil Williams, SC, this modern facility will improve access to justice, particularly in Region 4.
The importance of access to justice cannot be overstated, as it is crucial to the maintenance of the rule of law. When people get access to justice, to the justice system, they are empowered, as it is one of the prime mechanisms for persons to exercise their legal rights. These legal rights are enshrined in the Constitution and are found in our statutes and are declared in various international instruments to which Guyana is a signatory.
Brief remarks were also made by Bar Association President Tini Husty and Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire.
Giving us some details on the vision of the court was Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Yonit Cummings Edwards.
This court boasts modern equipment and technology. We have facilities for the differently abled persons. We have a wheelchair ramp. We have an elevator, which is specially designed washrooms to accommodate wheelchair access. We also have a domestic violence unit where members of the public can come and have their matters dealt with. The space, the office that's provided We also have their holding facilities for prisoners and a police outpost in this building.
And making history at this facility was Magistrate Rondell Weaver. He heard the first case here at 1 p.m. From the Diamond Golden Grove Magistrates Court, Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
On Thursday, we reported that Guyana has taken a quantum leap upward on the Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index for 2019, continuing the progress it has been making over the last few years.
Out of the 180 countries assessed, Guyana has earned a score of 40 and is ranked 85th alongside regional counterpart Trinidad and Tobago and Middle Eastern country Kuwait, among others. Guyana has moved 8 places up from last year, where the country was ranked 93 out of 180. According to the TI report, only 22 countries over the last 8 years have significantly improved their CPI scores. These include Greece, Guyana, and Estonia. During the same period, 21 countries saw significant decreases in their scores, including Canada, Australia, and Nicaragua. In the remaining 137 countries, the levels of corruption show little to no change. With a score of 40, Guyana is a significant improver. According to the report, while there is still much work to be done, the coalition government is demonstrating political will to hold former politicians accountable for the misuse of state resources. Late last year, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime in Vienna lauded Guyana's fight against corruption. UNODC, during a courtesy call on Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams, officials were impressed with the volume of legislation passed in a short time by the chambers. The Corruption Perceptions Index is the Transparency International's flagship research product. Since its inception in 1995, it has become the leading global indicator of public sector corruption. The index offers an annual snapshot of the relative degree of corruption by ranking countries and territories from all over the globe. The 2019 CPI draws on 13 surveys and expert assessments to measure public sector corruption in countries and territories, giving each a score from 0, highly corrupted, to 100, very clean. For InfoHub, Anara.
All the necessary checks and balances have taken place during the lifting process of Guyana's first shipment of 1 million barrels of light crude to ensure that the country's interests are well protected. This assurance came from the Department of Energy as the MV Yanis set sail for U.S. markets.
As we speak, the MV Yanis is on its way to markets in the United States with Guyana's first shipment of 1 million barrels of light crude.
According to the Department of Energy, the oil tanker successfully lifted Guyana's first shipment of crude under the watchful eyes of the Ghana National Bureau of Standards, GNBS, and the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, who scrutinized the process.
To get a better understanding of why this scrutiny is necessary, InfoHub contacted the Ghana National Bureau of Standards.
It's important for our royalties, it's important for pricing and everything else. It's important for the Ghana Revenue Authority to charge the relevant taxes and duties and royalties as it relates to the crude that we're selling. So like everything else, accurate measurements it's important. It's really important to the systems.
The GNBS, operating under the Ministry of Business, is a semi-autonomous governmental organization responsible for standards and quality in Ghana. It is the only national standards body in the country. When Ghana's oil and gas industry came into being, there was a supplementary document which was gazetted, giving the body the power under Section 18 of the Petroleum Act to conduct checks and balances. Lifts of crude are expected approximately every 10 to 12 days after the first lifting.
Our responsibility under this act is to ensure, ensure that the measuring devices are tested and basically remain accurate. Our responsibility in that regard, we will basically ensure that these calibrations are done like what we previously do, where we conduct the calibrations and the verifications under the Bureau. We do it for the verification of petrol companies, the gas stations, and all of that. In this regard, we just witness the verification.
Oil revenues in this first venture are projected to be approximately US $300 million in the first year and triple in the next 5 years.
So what does Guyanese want? Entrepreneur Ms. Faye Waldron, who plies her trade in the Kitty area, hopes to see more initiatives for young people, while Joan Ramsuk wants all Guyanese to benefit from the oil resources.
They must pay a lot of attention to the youths, right? You got to give the youth the first preference because why? There's a lot of them that need pulling in, guidance, they need training, they need schooling.
Guyana in the general should be developed, everybody. Not, it mustn't be race, it mustn't be no creed or anything, you understand? Everybody should benefit on it.
Reporting for InfoHub, Felicia Valenzuela.
Prime Minister the Honorable Moses Nagamutu, while addressing a large gathering in his hometown of Wim, declared that under the coalition administration, Guyana will never be divided.
Guyanese in the diaspora turned out in their numbers on Thursday evening to receive Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu at a coalition rally held in Brooklyn, New York. As he addressed the ecstatic audience, Prime Minister Nagamutu reaffirmed that the future of Ghana lays in a coalition government. Decisions for the good of the country, he said, should be made collectively, adding that the current government believes strongly in integrity.
We have restored integrity in public life. There must be integrity in public life. And you have to live by the laws you make. And the laws must be applicable to everyone. When we got into the office, the first thing we did was to reintroduce integrity legislation. We recomprised the Integrity Commission.
The Prime Minister noted that under the current administration, ministers are subjected to a higher standard.
I introduced a code of conduct for ministers and those who benefit from the public purse, and set out what those codes should be, what gifts they should receive, their relationship with persons who invest in the country. And I put 10 points as if they came from the 10 Commandments.
Prime Minister Nagamutu was accompanied by Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Karen Cummins. Also delivering remarks at the event was Dr. Joey Jagan, who endorsed the APNU AFC coalition. The highly successful meeting was organized by prominent coalition supporters in New York. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
An enterprising Guyanese youth is hoping to soon have his own franchise in the hot dog business and will be using the support received from the government to move in this direction.
Ryan Wharton of Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, warmed the hearts of thousands of Guyanese at home and the diaspora when he introduced his new business on a Facebook post. In that post, he requested assistance to move his business forward, and the government did not disappoint. On Thursday, Ministry of Natural Resources, Raphael Trotman, made a donation of $100,000 to the budding entrepreneur at his Mandela and Go Slow Avenue business. Minister Trotman said Ryan has captured the attention of thousands of people with his enterprising and innovative skills.
He stood out as a good example, and there are thousands of examples like him. Government has been reaching out to as many young people as it can, providing opportunities for training, support through the HAZE program, through the SLED program, etc. So we've decided to come on the spot, even though much of this is done in offices. We've come on the spot where his business is located, to commend him and to make this contribution today.
Ryan told InfoHub that he spent 3 months in neighboring Venezuela in 2015, where he experienced the street food culture from a different perspective. Taking what he learned, he customized his venture to suit the market here.
I have been on and off for the last 2 years because this isn't my only endeavor. I do other things as well, but I restarted at the beginning of January.
He plans to use the money to expand his business and hopefully acquire a franchise in the hot dog industry. He said his new journey, while not without its challenges, is very rewarding.
My dream is to become a successful entrepreneur with several different businesses. It's not easy, but it's worth it. For me, being an entrepreneur is not so much about the money, but it's about the freedom. Freedom as it pertains to being your own boss and generating income for yourself and family, and the ability to eventually create employment and give back to society. So it's totally worth it, and it requires a lot of discipline, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Nicolette Henry, is standing in support of teachers following the recent act of violence against a teacher.
Minister Henry, seen clad in black and white, spent time with Region 10 teachers on Monday, where she pledged her support and stood in solidarity with them.
For all those teachers who are dressed in the black and white, and for those that are in school but not dressed in black and white, I want to say that I stand in solidarity with you. Your government cares about teachers. You are the mainstay of the education sector, and we will do all that we possibly can to ensure that the school is a safe space, not only for our students, but our teachers.
The minister also urged students, parents, and fellow teachers to all have respect for all teachers, who she described as the mainstay of the education system.
In the education sector, I think we need to see people show more love for our teachers.
Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
The construction of one of the first concrete bridge along the Latham Trail at a cost of $160 million is underway and will contribute to reliable commute and enhanced safety for travelers in the Rupununi.
Works on the $160 million concrete bridge began on Friday by contractor H. Norton Sons. This revolutionary project represents a major upgrade from the wooden bridge that is currently being demolished. With a work window of 10 weeks, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure anticipates the new bridge will be completed in time for Easter. To facilitate the reconstruction works, a bypass has been created across the narrow creek that runs beneath the Manari Bridge. Commuters are advised to exercise caution to all safety and directional signs in the work zone. Just last April, through the collaborative efforts between the Ministry of Public Infrastructure and the Ministry of Natural Resources, an $80 million bypass at the Manari Bridge was built. This move was taken by government to reduce the accidents that previously occurred near the bridge due to a dangerous turn. The result was the elimination of the turn and the construction of one straight piece of bypass road that is now 4 meters wide and 1 kilometer long, a significant transformation from the former narrow stretch of road leading to the wooden bridge. The new Manari Bridge will bolster the Linden to Latham Road that is projected to undergo construction this year. Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
Citizens Bank performed exceptionally well last year, and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Winston Jordan, said that this is proof that you can bank on Guyana's economic performance.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan, congratulating Citizens Bank on its exceptional 2019 performance, said, like so many other banks and businesses, they have been exceeding expectations, thanks to the positive reformist policies of the government that have created an engaging environment for growth and development. End of quote. Citizens Bank also intends to focus on expanding its services and branches. At the bank's annual general meeting hosted on Tuesday, January 21, Chairman of the bank's board, Clifford Rees, said that they raked in profits of more than $955 million last year, a 58.6% increase over 2018 figures. Rees credited the bank's success to existing market factors, including, but not limited to, high liquidity and intense competition amongst leading institutions with a resultant decline in interest rates. He explained that the bank is also seeing more customers servicing their loans, with non-performing loans dropping by 4%. Citizens Bank also saw a 7.2% increase in deposits. According to Citizens Bank's chairman, with Ghana's economy expected to see significant growth this year with the start of oil production, the banking sector is also expected to perform even better. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
In its thrust to continue improving accessibility in healthcare delivery, the Ministry of Public Health has delivered $70 million in equipment to several regions.
The equipment includes 5 boats and outboard engines, 2 ATVs, and a quantity of state-of-the-art medical equipment. Regions 1, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are benefiting. Minister of Public Health, the Honorable Valda Lawrence, said this investment demonstrates the government's commitment to ensuring that all Guyanese have access to quality health care.
I'm very pleased to see the equipment here for the Linden Hospital complex, because we know that this will enable them to reduce the number of transfers to our tertiary institution, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. But more importantly is our being able to provide to regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 not only equipment but also transportation for our midwives, our community health workers, our nurses.
Minister Lawrence said that this will go a far way, especially for the implementation of programs in the hinterland regions, such as the vaccination program. Director of Regional and Clinical Services, Dr. K. Shako, said the ministry is bent on ensuring that people have access to health care services regardless of location.
I'm also happy with the different type of equipment in terms of our cardiac monitors and our ultrasound, the anesthetic machines, the lab machine, the engines that we have here. You know, this is something great for our healthcare delivery. And even as we continue to talk about improving our services, we want our services to be safe, effective, efficient, timeliness, and also there must be equity within the delivery of our health services.
The supply of equipment is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Public Health and the Ministry of Communities. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
The Ghana Power and Light Incorporated has signed a contract with Giftland Mall for electricity to be supplemented to the company's grid.
Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Honorable David Patterson, made this disclosure on the sidelines of the sod-turning ceremony for the beginning of a solar project that is expected to power CARICOM headquarters at Liliendal.
The power purchase agreement has been signed, the technical modalities have been worked out, and I think very shortly the license has been granted. So very shortly Giftland will be doing likewise. I'm talking in a matter of weeks, I would think, or days, and they'll be supplying about 3 to 4 megawatts into the power grid to augment what GPL has at the moment.
Last September, Chairman of Giftland Mall, Roy Bepat, told InfoHub the company had 2 proposals to supply power to GPL's grid. While Giftland has 6.7 megawatts of power, only 1.6 megawatts is being used during optimal operations. Presently, GPL's power generation stands at 142 megawatts, while the peak demand pegs at 124.6 megawatts. This allows for a 17.4 megawatts reserve, which falls below the internationally required standard of 20% of power generation. Because of the low reserve capacity, power disruptions due to maintenance of generators may occur, hence the need to increase the overall generation shortfall. The agreement with Giftland Mall allows GPL to work towards an increase in its power generation. Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
The $74 million maternity unit at the Leonora Diagnostic Center will be operational in April.
The maternity unit, which has been upgraded from an antenatal clinic, will offer a full range of maternity services from pre-birth clinic to post-delivery health care. Minister of Public Health, the Honorable Valda Lawrence, told West Coast Demerara residents of this new development.
We added a maternity wing there because we recognize that persons coming from the islands and from the river and those complicated cases that are being sent from Regions 2 have to come all the way to Georgetown. And so we decided that we must put an end to that. We invested over $74 million, and we have added a maternity wing there that will be open soon, comrades. You don't have to go to Georgetown, and you don't have to drive all the way to West Demerara Hospital.
The Leonora Diagnostic Center is one of those identified as a smart health facility, being a safe and green space.
Along with the upgrades to fully achieve this status, Regional Executive Officer Jennifer Ferreira-Dugal noted that the infrastructural works will be completed early in the second quarter of 2020.
I'm seeing health in Region 3 to take a next step up, especially when the smart hospital is finished, and we're trying to do that very quickly. The expanded maternity wing is should be finished by, I would say, by April. Yes, because they had to do some extra work there.
Construction of the maternity unit was conceptualized in 2016 after there was a push to improve and upgrade the maternity services at several regional and district hospitals to address overcrowding at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
In its bid to enhance the music curriculum, the Education Minister presented fully equipped steel bands to 2 schools in Region 10.
Mackenzie High, a school filled with artistic promise, received over $2 million worth of steel pans to add to their band's collection, while Kokwani Secondary received over $2.2 million worth in steel pans. With the donation of these steel orchestras, the 2 schools now have a competitive edge for national competitions such as Panorama, held in February as part of the Mashramani celebrations.
As the decade of development continues to unfold, the Ministry of Education, through all of its departments, and in this case the Unit of Allied Arts, continues to enhance expressive arts, music, and all other non-academic skills and behavior.
Minister Henry also assured that her ministry will continue to work to ensure educational activities encompass all aspects of development and are made available to students all across Guyana.
This, of course, is mainly to promote holistic learning with the aim of stimulating and hopefully developing well-rounded individuals who are prepared to function well in the 21st century.
The ministry has already distributed 31 steel bands in the 10 administrative regions. Just last week, 2 Region 6 schools benefited from steel pans. Administrator of the Unit of Allied Arts, Lorraine Barker King, told the teachers and students that the unit will be expanding the scope of music in schools.
We are preparing to have all-rounded children. We are ensuring that music is taught, and not only music, we are also looking at dance, drama, music, visual arts, and physical education and sport.
The expansion of the music curriculum is part of the education sector's plans during the decade of development, piloted by President David Granger. Letitia Isaacs for InfoHub.
As we count down the days to our Golden Jubilee Republic anniversary, the Department of Social Cohesion has rolled out a massive calendar of events. This has been InfoHub Recap, which looked at major stories carried from January 18 to 24, 2020. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Also, do take some time to review the Diaspora Digest and other publications found on our website. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend, and remember, we are one people, one nation with one destiny. Goodbye for now.